Hi everyone. Today I will try to explain how the fast API endpoints can be used can be converted into MCP tools using FastAPIMCP. Here, as we develop the endpoints for our application using FastAPI, once we have developed the endpoints, we will utilize the application with the endpoints for creating this MCP server. If you see here, using FastAPI, I have created an application and I have created a get endpoint for that application with the function calling named read item, uh, which takes item ID as an input. I have mentioned the doc string as retrieves an item by its ID, and it will return the item and the name of that item. So once I developed this endpoint for this application, I will use this app for creating an MCP using FastAPI MCP. So all our endpoints of that application will be used as an MCP tools uh, for our agent. So I have given the MCP server name as my API MCP and the description as MCP server and for my API. Once I build this MCP server using FastAPI MCP, I will mount this on the same app. Actually, we can mount the MCP server on the same app or on a different app. But for the learning purposes, we can. I am going through mounting the MCP server on the same application on which we are working on. So once I develop this Python code. Now I will run this Python code to show you how we can utilize this in our use case. Now I am opening my terminal. If you see, I am running this application in my port, in one of my port using UVCon. I am running main.py file and the app will get executed using this command, and I am executing on this host with port 8000. I am clicking on enter. You can see that the port, the MCP server is running on this URL. When you click, actually 0.0.0.0 indicates the public access to this server. We can click on this URL to open, replace 0.0.0 with 127.0.0.1, and we have mounted the MCP server on the same application, so we are typing MCP. Here we have given MCP as the name of the server we are working on. So I am typing MCP here. Now we can see that MCP server is up and running. Now we can use this MCP server to answer the user queries. Now I am using GitHub Copilot here to connect to my MCP server. When I click on these settings, now I am adding an MCP server, and I am adding a new server here, and it is an HTTP or server side events server. So I am connecting to that server here, and it is asking me for the MCP server URL. So let me Let me go to the here and copy this MCP server URL, paste here and click enter. And you can modify the name of the server if you want. Here my MCP server, I am maintaining it as my MCP server, and I am clicking on enter. And we can give this MCP server available to all our workspaces which runs locally, all or only to the workspace which we are working on. I am giving to the only to this workspace which we are working on presently. And if you see this mcp.json configuration file is created automatically with the name with the name of the server which we have given and the URL and the type of the MCP server. Now when I ask a question to this GitHub Copilot, let me try with a simple question to retrieve an item with ID 5. So if you can see, it has used our MCP server to answer the query, and it has utilized the MCP endpoint, MCP tool. I mean to say fast API endpoint, get API endpoint, which is acting as an MCP tool. Um, with the operation, if you can see, the operation ID is get item. So get item is the name of the MCP tool in the MCP server, which internally utilize this get API to answer the user query. And it has used this function to us to retrieve the item from the from the database. So if you can see, the item ID is 5 and the name of the item is, this is an item of item 5, name of the item 5. So I hope this helps. In this way we can utilize all the endpoints of the fast API application as an endpoints, as an sorry, as an empty as an MCP server tools, which we can utilize to our agent for answering the user query. So I am just repeating, we are utilizing the endpoints of the application and giving the access to it uh, to the agent as an MCP tools, so that it can utilize those endpoints to answer our query. I hope this helps. Thanks a lot.